voter fraud in Whittier, what we know about the people said to be involved.
And analyzing the state's oil prices, what may be causing the fluctuations, and what it means for the future.
Showing appreciation for nearly 2,000 Fairbanks North Star Borough School District employees. Who's coming together to give back in a big way?
Well, April snow is falling on parts of Alaska as colder air has moved in. I'll have the impacts and forecasts coming up.
You're watching Alaska's news source.
Tonight we have a follow-up to a story we first reported back in October. 10 American Samoan residents of Whittier have been charged with voter misconduct and perjury, among other charges.
Now, investigative reporter Johnson Kuhn spoke with one of them today, Michael Pesse, who confirmed each of the 10 people charged are members of the same family. Johnson.
That's right, John. Each of the individuals are charged each of the individuals charged are U.S. nationals born in the U.S. territory of American Samoa. However, that does not automatically make them U.S. citizens. Unlike people born in other U.S. territories like Puerto Rico or the U.S. Virgin Islands. Court documents show some of the cases involve charges stemming from as far back as 2020, as well as 2022 and 2023. Michael Pesse also told me today that he's been advised by legal counsel not to speak to media about this case at this time. Alaska's news source first reported on the investigation last October following claims made by members of the Pesse family who contacted us to say they were targeted by Alaska State Troopers who traveled to Whittier in September, knocking on doors of the Baggage Tower and asking questions about the family's citizenship, according to Michael Pesse.
They pulled out a picture, had my face on it, and they said they were looking for me, and they wanted to ask some questions about my immigration status, if I'm a citizen or...
Troopers told Alaska's news source then they were only focused on questions related to participation in local and state elections. An arraignment date has been set for all 10 individuals for May 2nd, and we'll continue to follow this case as it develops. Johnson Kuhn, Alaska's news source.
And just when many are turning to thoughts of spring and maybe even gardening, here comes April snow.
That's right. Meteorologist Jackie Purcell joins us with the forecast. Jackie.
Yeah, that's right. After a round of street sweeping, now comes some April snowfall. And so far, it has been at least 3 inches here in the Anchorage area. That's our new snow depth. But let's get to some of those statistics about snow late in the season. The latest we've ever seen snow is May 22nd, 1964, and it has to go at least 1/10 of an inch to be considered measurable. As far as the earliest last snow, March 17th of 1978, so after that point, they didn't get any more snow. But as I mentioned, the Upper Diarman report is 4 inches of snow, 3 inches near Sterling, and for the Anchorage area, we're up to a 3-inch snow depth here. That's reported at the airport location, the Sand Lake Forecast Office. We're currently at 30 degrees. We have calm conditions, and that's what it is looking like around the Midtown area. Our highest temperature today, a full 10 degrees below normal at 31, 27 for our overnight low, so nowhere near that record from 2016 of 53 degrees, but that 3-inch accumulation is also the most we've had through the month. It's continuing to snow in parts of the Anchorage area, Kenai, northern Kenai Peninsula, and even into parts of the valley. There's been some snow into the interior as well. As far as the high in Fairbanks, 23 degrees. Overnight low was 14. That's about normal, but their normal high temperature this time of year is considerably warmer, and currently they are at 19 degrees with winds out of the southwest at 9 miles per hour. What I do want to let folks know is that there could be another additional 2 inches of snow in the Anchorage Bowl area, and there could be another 4 inches of snow around the hillside, Upper Eagle River, as well as Indian, as lows also fall to the mid-20s. I'll have more on the forecast coming up a little bit later.
Don't forget, download the Alaska's Weather Source weather app. It keeps you ahead of any significant weather changes.
All right, with the stock market drop, Alaska per barrel oil prices, which tax money makes up 1/3 of the state budget, have also seen a sharp downturn over the last several days.
Now that comes as the state lawmakers work to fill a massive budget gap. The State Department of Revenue analyzes oil prices. Its pricing chart shows historic prices since 1996. Now prices fell another $1 today to close at $67.48 per barrel. A year ago, that was 52-week high at around $89 per barrel. price has been in the low $60 range multiple times since 2021, following record lows in 2020.
Now, the most recent budget year state forecast is based on $74.48 per barrel prices for the current budget year and $68 for next year, 2026.
The crash in oil prices the last few days has been terrible for the state budget, state revenues. For the services, the dividend, everything, school funding, there's just a lot less money on the table if this doesn't reverse itself.
Now, with that $68 price, which is just cents lower than what the markets are showing, the state is already in a more than $1.6 billion deficit for the coming fiscal year.
A House bill introduced last week could require Alaska high school students to complete a financial literacy program prior to graduation. The bill's sponsor told the House Education Committee Friday that a mandatory school-provided program would go a long way in preparing students to take on the financial responsibilities that come along with adulthood. In Alaska, financial literacy is only offered or required in a few districts, including Anchorage and Haines, but a requirement has not been standardized statewide.
Financial literacy is perhaps one of the most important things that you can know. It's like health education. If you can take care of your finances, understand finances, avoid financial pitfalls, you can set yourself up for a successful financial future.
Now, according to the National Endowment for Financial Education, financial literacy is a required course in every state except for Alaska, Wyoming, and the District of Columbia. An amendment deadline for House Bill 90 was set for this Wednesday. Then it will likely head to the House Finance Committee with an opportunity for additional public comment.
Creating compost to encourage local growers, the Fairbanks Community Food Bank is putting together a new biodigester to handle food waste. The machine creates compost from the 10% of donations the food bank can't distribute, keeping it from that landfill. Now, the compost made from the process will be given to local growers, meant to encourage more people to grow and to give their leftovers to the food bank. There's a need for 2 tons of fresh produce every day, but the food bank has seen declining donations, not keeping up with the need. Now, that includes the Food is Medicine program, where doctors refer patients to get free, healthy food.
We need more produce to meet the needs of the patients who are needing it. And the grocers give us what they can, but we need to have more local growers so that we can meet the needs of the people who are improving their health by eating fresh food.
And the biodigester is expected to be working by Wednesday of this week.
Well, showing appreciation to more than 1,700 Fairbanks North Star Borough School District employees, a Fairbanks business owner telling Alaska's news source he and 5 other interior businesses partnered to donate $500,000 in gift cards and services.
Fairbanks superintendent says that the donation reinforces the strong bond between the schools and local businesses. Les Nichols, who owns Fairbanks Nissan and Sundog Community Fitness, said it's important to support education because it in turn supports the students they teach.
Most people get into working for the education system because they want to help kids, and that's a really tough mission to achieve effectively when we have really stuffed classes and they're hurting for materials, and they're in a tough spot. And when you're in a job like that where you could use a little more support in terms of materials and in terms of manpower, I think it's important that we don't forget to say thank you for dealing with less than perfect circumstances.
Nichols says that he hopes to see the effort expand next year with help from the Greater Fairbanks Chamber of Commerce. Borealis Med Spa, DW Grill, Sunrise Bagel and Espresso, and Fairbanks Hearing and Balance also donated.
Well, still ahead, a name change for the Nazi River.
It's shocking that's a name in Alaska, but it is. See what it takes to make a change.
You're watching Alaska's news source.
Sometimes it's hard to believe what some places in Alaska are named for. The Alaska Historical Commission has 30 places and names it's investigating. That's who you go to if you want to change the name of a location on the Alaska map.
Well, Eric Sohl, he has an update to a story from a year ago. It's about an effort to change some offensive names on a very small Aleutian island.
And I knew instantly that something is not right here.
Anchorage historian Michael Livingston made a discovery last year.
I found that the name of one of the creeks was Nazi Creek.
He also found there was a nip hill.
They're derogatory. Nazi is particularly derogatory towards people of Jewish ancestry. To the east of Kiska Island sits Little Kiska Island. Dip Hill is derogatory to people of Japanese descent. It's a very offensive term.
Remnants from a different time when World War II occupied the Aleutians.
I learned that there's a process to remove names that are considered offensive from maps of Alaska.
Livingston knew it would take work.
It might be months, if not longer.
It took a year. Last week, he got his chance to address the Alaska Historical Commission.
My name is Michael Livingston. I was raised in Cold Bay on the Alaska Peninsula.
He had filled out the paperwork.
I had to work with a Nungamtunu language expert, Moses Dirks, to find an appropriate names for both locations. I had to file applications with the state of Alaska.
And then he had a 3-minute window to present his proposed name changes to the commission.
These derogatory names are on Unanga land. During World War II, the Unanga people and millions of others paid dearly due to the actions of Adolf Hitler's Nazis.
Livingston's proposal? Returning the sites to local names.
The original Unanga name for Little Kiska Island was basically Gizzard. So Nazi Creek is going to be changed to Gizzard Creek, and Dip Hill is going to be changed to Gizzard Hill.
And his efforts paid off.
The vote in the state of Alaska was unanimous. All 6 of the members voted to remove these derogatory names and replace them with Unanga names.
But it's not done yet. The state can only recommend the name changes.
The state of Alaska now sends it to the federal agency, the U.S. Board of Geographic Names, and then they review the material and they decide either to remove the names or keep the names.
The new Alaska names will be voted on when the U.S. Board of Geographic Names meets next month. Eric Soule, Alaska's news source.
Thanks for listening. Click subscribe so you can get the latest podcast from Alaska's news source automatically. And stay up to date with breaking news and in-depth reporting available for free 24/7 with the Alaska's news source app.